Hi, my name is Shitiz. Today, me and my friends are here to give our presentation on sustainable management. Here is the outline of our presentation, starting with the introduction, uh, followed by 5 main key points taken from our article, that is supply chain sustainability or risk management approach, following by the discussion about management and sustainability, then conclusions, and in the end, we give the references from where we took our material for research work. Here is the introduction part. Sustainable development. It is basically the development that meets the need of the present generation without compromising the needs of the future generations. As in our era, the resources are getting scarce and scarce. So we need to adopt more sustainable ways so that we can save more resources for the future generations. And for that, we are creating awareness in masses by using 3 R's like reduce, reuse, and recycle. Here's our topic: sustainable related risk management in supply chains. As with the growth of technology and advancements in every field, um, companies attains new heights, and so does the supply chains. And with these advancements, there are new risks emerging on the daily basis. And to cope up with these risks, we need more sustainable ways. And we need, along with the present risk, we need to plan our sustainable ways for our future risks. And the discussion about all these risks related to the sustainable supply chain, that will be discussed later on in our presentation by my friend Truc Thuy. She will explain the typical risks related to supply chain. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Thuy, and now I would like to start with the first key point in our report, which is the clarification between typical risk and sustainability related supply chain risk. First of all, typical risks are defined as disruption and delay in business operation, which stemming from various risks such as supply risk, procurement related risk, and demand risk, and so on. However, we won't focus on these categories in detail because in our chosen report, they recognize these risks into 2 main types: endogenous risk and exogenous risk. The first type comes from company activity, and the second one is caused by the external environment. Nowadays, more and more companies are looking for sustainability practices in their daily operation. Different risk-facing companies are taken into the account at the triple bottom line views of sustainability. These risks involve 3 sections, which is environment, social, and economics. Previous research showed that the common sustainability-related risks are greenhouse gas emission, natural disaster, accidents, energy consumption, packaging waste, or environmental damages. So the differences between these risks and the original ones are consequences in natural ecosystem, financial exposure, and company reputations, as well as the compliance with the legal system rather than disturbance in supply chains operation. Facing these risks, the company might suffer from revenue loss or losing their reputation in the market. For example, let's talk about the financial field. If the company is dishonest about their liability by recognizing current liability and non-current liability, then to improve the liquidity ratio, then credit institutions and keep loaning money for these companies. As the result, this could cause damaging effect for not only the lender but also the organization itself. The harmful effect could be losses or even losing or even breaking down the going concern assumption due to inability to pay back debt. So now, in order to have deeper understanding about sustainability related supply chain risk, my friend Sangat will continue with the next part, which is cause and effects of these risks.
Hello everyone, my name is Sangatpreet Singh. As my friend mentioned that there are the various type of sustainability risk like economic risk and environmental risk and the social risk. First of all, we will include the economic risk causes and its effects. The economic risk causes have the various effects: low profit margins, low market share, decreasing revenues, and mismanagement of cash flow. This economic risk have the various effects, like it will damage the reputational damage of the company, and second, it will result into the loss of liquidity of the company. The next one is the environmental risk causes. Environmental risk have the different causes like climate change, urban development, carbon dioxide dependency, operational inefficiency. This environmental risk have the different effects, like it will damage the ecosystem and it will result into the depletion of resources. The final one is the social risk causes. The social risk results into the poverty, lack of hygiene, corruption, population growth, lack of education, and lack of work safety laws and income, etc. Thank you. The next part will be included by my friend Varun. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Varun Sharma. As my friend Sangha told about the sustainability related supply chain risk, I tell about the sustainability related supply chain risk assessment using FMEA model. Now, FMEA, that is failure mode and effect analysis, is a technique which is used in most of the companies. It is a technique that is used to identify the failure modes, which is a functional loss to the business. Now, for this, a calculation of risk index score is used to find out the effect of each risk factors on the business. Now, it is started by listing each and every activity in the business, and it is systematically found where the failure card can be detected in order to analyze the risk. Now, the formula for this is RPN equals to S into P into D, where RPN stands for the risk priority number, S stands for the severity of the risk, P stands for the probability of the risk, and D stands for the detectability of the risk. The higher the RPN, the higher is the risk factor. Now, there are mutual relationships among sustainability related supply chain risk. It says that the items in the same factors are strongly correlated to each other. As per the research, there is a significant correlation between environmental and economic related factors. Now, the next part is that the social related factors associated with supply chain risk have no significant correlation. Now, for this, the risk treatments for one risk can have a negative effect on the risk of the To present the next part, my friend Sachin will tell you about this. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Sachin and thank you Varun for the introduction. Now I have to explain this sustainability risk management process. Basically there are 5 stages. First one is identification of the risks, second assessment of those risks, third is analysis, fourth one is treatment, and fifth one is monitoring of those risks. Now discussion part. While attaining the sustainability, an organization have 2 kind of risks. First one is endogenous risk, second is exogenous risk. Endogenous risks are those the risks who are internal in the organization and the origin within the supply chain for those risks. They are easy to identify and control because they are under the control of the management of an organization. Exogenous risks are the external risks. They are difficult to recognize and partially controlled because, for example, government policies, environmental effects, an organization don't have full control over them. But internal factor like correlation, coordination between departments, they can control that. Conclusion. So by research work we have done, we came to the conclusion that supply chain risk is a primary concern in today's business dynamic environment. So in this context, supply chain management has become very popular and very important factor. Sustainability recently developed concept which should be inherited for the improvement of society. And last, organization should understand the supply chain risk and the sustainability are inseparable. They are together. If they are able to understand this fact, so they will be able to provide more benefit in the present and for the future generation. This makes always a win-win situation for the society and for the organization. So this is all about our research work. Thank you. And there are a list of references we used for our research work. You can see that. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. And go green. Thanks.